Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of the Nerd Consultants E3 podcast. I'm joined once again by my friends Elliot and Reese.
Oh, so we're good friends, Cal.
I forgot. Oh god, that's going to come back to haunt me.
Considering the amount we've been bullying him, I'm surprised they're still friends. Let's be honest.
Yeah. If you want to find out more about that, watch the Calvin and Ren Plays streams. You get so much hilarity out of that.
Which will be tomorrow. Yeah, I think it was Tuesday for a second.
It is tomorrow. Dark Souls 3 Fridays is going to start this Friday with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Come watch me pop a blood vessel.
But okay, look, day 2 of E3. I think we wanted a really good couple of conferences to pick up our mood, considering we weren't that happy with Ubisoft. So, we're going to talk today about the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, and the Square Enix Presents. We're going to try and combine the two together. So,
it's so weird having it called Bethesda and Xbox. Yeah, it's so weird them not being separate ones.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's taking a lot of getting used to think that Bethesda is not their own company anymore. They are now part of the monolith of Microsoft.
Yeah, all past the glorious fridge.
That was the last thing they showed off, the Xbox Series X fridge.
Like, I think we can admit, this is like a Sony purchasing Square Enix. It's just super weird.
Do you know what's weird? I could see Sony doing that. I could see Sony saying, we will buy Square Enix.
I can see that happening more than Microsoft buying Bethesda, yeah.
In fact, there was a rumour going around that was going to happen, and to such an extent, the CEO of Square Enix...
I thought it was Konami that was the rumour happening.
There was a Konami rumour, but there was also another one that Square Enix was going to get bought, and Square Enix had to actually come out and say...
Oh, right.
Square Enix had to actually come out and say, yeah, they might want to buy us, but we don't want to sell. That's a big difference. You can say all you want, like, oh, this company wants to buy insert studio name here. If they don't actually want to sell, it's meaningless.
I think at this point, though, considering the amount that they're buying, Microsoft have pretty much just become the Disney of the game industry now. Just from how much they're buying.
So here's the thing about Microsoft, guys. I want to ask each of you, how much you invested in the Xbox ecosystem and the Bethesda ecosystem? So what was you hoping for going into this conference? I'll start with you, Reese, on this one.
Well, I had zero investment with Xbox because I've never had one. I probably never will.
Okay, so this wasn't much for you, obviously. What about Bethesda? Are you much of a Bethesda person, or...?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Fallouts and the Elder Scrolls.
The less said about some of their recent entries, the better.
Yep. Or just the lack of recent entries.
Now, the one thing I know about you, Elliot, is you are like me. You have an Xbox Game Pass subscription, but you don't own either. But you got it for your PC. You don't own any of the Xbox consoles.
No, yeah, I only have it for PC. For PC, I don't really. I've never really been much of an Xbox gamer, honestly.
So, what about Reese? You don't have a high-end PC for gaming, do you?
I have no PC whatsoever.
You have no PC. So,
yeah.
But I suppose going into this, you were hoping for some good third-party talk.
Yeah, just see what collaborations could be done.
That's more kind of what you. I was kind of I don't know what were you going in hoping for with this one, Elliot?
There wasn't really much. Before E3, the one thing I was hoping was obviously for more Elden Ring information, but of course we've already got that. So I think mostly, I don't know, probably Psychonauts, but that's all I can really think of.
Well, see, I did buy an Xbox Series X last year, but that did. that did actually affect. That was a very good purchase in my opinion. I've actually had a lot of decent time with Xbox Game Pass. I've finally gotten into the whole thing, but I did want to see some more updates on some of these acquisitions. I wanted to see what's going on with all the studios they bought. Do we have updates for all these games? Because last year they did that presentation. They didn't really sell the console very well. They had this idea of, here's a bunch of games that will be coming out in the near future, in the quite bit of future. We're going to lay all our cards on the table, and that's it. And they didn't really show off what was going to be really great about this new console. They did down the line, but that's ultimately, obviously, that didn't happen. But ultimately, obviously, not as many people did purchase it. What do you guys? But okay, so we went into this whole thing kind of going, Xbox isn't really our thing, but we have a bit of an investment in it, so let's see what they got. Speaking of which, the first trailer this got leaked just before the conference started, but they started out with Todd Howard coming out to welcome us to what normal.
Oh, bloody hell, sorry, something on my phone just started going off, my bad.
That was the Xbox logo. That was the Xbox sound effect as well.
Yeah, out of nowhere, the Stalker 2 trailer started playing. Don't know why it didn't hit anything.
Oh god, we'll talk about that in a minute. But he opened up with Starfield trailer, which was a big... Which I think we all kind of thought Starfield was going to be at this thing.
Well, we didn't all think it. Ren thought it would be Elder Scrolls 6.
No, Ren hoped it would be Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think? What do you think of the look of Starfield?
Well, there was no gameplay.
Yeah, that's another that's a big problem I have with the Starfield trailers. They don't show off anything of the game.
Yeah, it's just CGI, so how are we supposed to be excited when we can't see what we're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, and early thoughts on it, it kind of looks like, so far, generic Space 3 number 16. It does not really doesn't look like it, just from what I could tell, it doesn't really seem like it's going to be that unique.
Well, the thing that I liked the look of it, but I kind of want to see more of it. So it does look like they've done some update to the creation engine, but it does feel a bit weird that Fallout isn't doing much besides the creation engine. It does feel a bit weird they're still relying on this thing, despite the fact it has been proven to be rather
limited.
Obsolete.
Yeah, in the past. So why are they going back? I don't understand why, but at least it looks like they have done some update. They must have done something, because this will not. The big surprise for me is not only is this an Xbox console exclusive, it's not coming to Xbox One. It's a Series X and S only game. So that suggests to me they've got to do there's something about it requires an SSD drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would guess so.
So I'm thinking that the loading times must be astronomical without an SSD.
And they've just
said we'll put it on one.
Yeah, they're right. They've just said that this is not going to work on Xbox One. I mean, the way they were talking about it was, we didn't want to do this until we had the technology to do it.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird, because when did Bethesda actually announce Starfield? Was it E3 2017 or 2018? It was one of the two.
2019, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't it?
I just thought it was earlier.
I think it was E3
Give me a second.
I'm pretty sure it was 2018 they announced Starfield. But
yeah, so while Elliot looks it up, did you guys see what Todd Howard said?
Not exactly, no.
No.
Well, a person saw the character climbing a ladder, and he said, "Oh, is it going to have a climbing system like Breath of the Wild?" And Todd Howard said, "No, don't read too much into it. It's just a ladder." So that's on record saying, "No, you can't climb in the game."
Right. So, right. Well, I can't believe they had to go that far for a dumb joke.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it would have been. People would have read too much into that. You know what people are like with this sort of thing. Nintendo can't announce anything without someone trying to notice a fucking pattern in it.
Oh, it was 2018. It was first announced.
I got something correct. But that to me seems interesting that they announced this in 2018, and it's not that it's coming out in 2022. That's not the thing that I find interesting about it. It's more that they announced this before that technology was really going to properly be established. Like, we didn't really start finding about what the specs of the PS5 and Xbox Series X would be until 2019.
Yeah. Actually, if you want an exact day, it's coming out on the 11th of November 2022.
Which is going to be exactly 11 years to the day that Elder Scrolls Skyrim released. To me, it's because
which will probably also be the year that we get the announcement for Skyrim PS5. Actually, surprised you haven't got that already.
Well, it's backwards compatible, so I think it's just going to be enhanced slightly.
Yeah, special edition with Knuckles, including new funky mode.
So, in regards to it, that says to me, I think the only reason they didn't release it on the 2nd of February is because they couldn't get it done in time, but I bet they really wanted to release it on the 2nd of February.
Yeah.
I can imagine, yeah.
So, I'm excited for Starfield. I'm also excited for, this is the first of several games, goes to Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they said, I think 27 of the games they announced are day one Game Pass. That's right.
And that's astounding to me that they're putting... Essentially, they are killing there is no pre-order market for this game now.
Yeah.
Why would you pre-order this game? I can get it Game Pass day one. Brilliant.
Especially because they showed off 30 titles and 27 are coming to Game Pass.
Yeah,
if anything, they really... The one thing that... I'm getting a bit of a hustle. One thing this conference proved, Game Pass has a ton of value now.
Oh, and that's astronomical amount of value, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So, unfortunately, this one is not coming to Game Pass day one. The second trailer was Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, which...
Yeah. Which, as I asked last night, who actually remembers Stalker?
Well, it does actually have quite a big fan base, Ali. You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Really? Because I haven't heard of anything of it since the PS3 days, and all I heard about that was what I heard from Zero Punctuation. That's about it.
Yeah, you gotta remember, Elliot, though, we hang out with we're Nintendo fans that hang out with other Nintendo fans, so that we are kind of a bit in an echo chamber half the time.
Honestly, most of my friends are Sony fans.
Really? It's weird because actually, that's a funny thing. Most of my friends are actually Xbox fans, which is weird.
No way.
Which is weird. Yeah, no, but I never heard anyone talk about Stalker. But that being said, they really made Stalker 2 look very good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was first thinking this is probably going to something I'm skip. I will skip it. I did not. I'm not that interested in Stalker. The trailer came out. Oh, I'm actually interested now. It actually looks pretty good.
Then it was...
just before we move on. It's been a bad time in them announcing a game about Chernobyl, considering what's just happened.
Oh, yes. Christ.
Ooh.
Yeah, where Chernobyl's going back to life now.
Yeah,
onto the ground.
Yeah, no, it does feel... It was... Chernobyl's always been a bit of a rocky situation, to put it mildly. So, yeah. I think they were all... So, no matter when they released this game, they were always going to have the... oh, Christ, something political has happened situation.
Yeah, but in the news, the actual nuclear waste is starting to react again.
Which is a bit... I bet Jeremy Clarkson and James May are happy it didn't happen when they drove through.
Yep.
That's it. But honestly, I think they made the trailer look pretty good, but I'd like to see a little bit more of it before my purchase will probably depend on if they announce at a later date it's coming to Game Pass, or if there's not much coming out around that time. That'll probably be my decision. Then they showed another trailer for Back 4 Blood, which, again, we're all kind of excited about. I'm surprised they showed it off, considering that there was already going to be an extended look at the game on the E3 live stream prior to that after this conference, but they did a good job with the thing. Didn't really show off much of what we didn't already know, but they did say it's coming to Game Pass day one.
The main thing I want from it. Sorry, go on, John.
I was going to say, did you guys watch the extended look afterwards?
I watched a bit of it.
No, I didn't.
The only thing we saw is that's a new PvP mode, and that's it.
I mean, they showed off in the Xbox show, yeah.
The thing I'm really wanting that I hope is announced, which I don't think was announced here, was crossplay.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's no crossplay in it so far. That's bizarre. That being said, they do. Back 4 Blood is the game I really want. I want another Left 4 Dead. This is made by the Left 4 Dead team. It just feels like they made another Left 4 Dead. I'm hoping the microtransactions are not terrible in it.
Yeah.
I don't mind there being microtransactions in. That's now an industry standard. It's here to stay. We can't do much about it. But as long as they make them decent, I'm fine.
Yeah, and it's just cosmetic.
Yeah, as long as they're...
and not gameplay releases.
Well, they're going to be slightly gameplay... We obviously know they're going to be slightly gameplay related in this one, because you've got that deck of cards which affects the start of the game.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested...
Just as long as it's not like pay to win, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're going down that path. I think going to Game Pass gives an excellent audience for this game. That's a lot of people that are going to play that game on day one, who will like, I'm not sure I want to do this. Oh wait, I've got Game Pass, I can play this. I think it's going to build a massive Xbox audience. It also makes my pre-order for the Steam version feel way off. So then they showed a trailer for a game which I thought was Forza at first, and then I thought, oh no, it's called Contraband.
Yeah,
it's looks like it's from the same guys that did the Just Cause series.
Well, I like
Avalanche Studios.
Yeah, it is Avalanche Studios that are doing it. I mean, I like Just Cause, but they didn't show off much of this game. This is the things I don't like in the Xbox E3 shows, where they show these really vague CG trailers for new properties, and we don't really know much about them.
Yeah, like, I mean, teaser trailers are fine. I think they have their place. Like, it sort of adds a tone to the game. Like Elden Ring, when we got the teaser trailer, just that alone got me really hyped for it. But yeah, I have no idea what this game is even about.
I think that, yeah, that's a good point. At least with Elden Ring, we kind of knew what it was about before we got the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Then it was a Sea of Thieves trailer, and they're adding Pirates of the Caribbean DLC to it.
Which
yeah, it's crossover
which
with Disney.
Immediately made you go, okay, I'm getting this game now.
I have the game. Do you know what's amazing? I pre-ordered the game. I've never put it in my Xbox. I've never, because the reviews came out and I just said, do you know, I think I'm going to wait for this to get better. And I've just never got round to it.
I've heard it has gotten better. Like, I heard it is a bit of a No Man's Skies situation where the game has gotten a little bit better. I mean, not quite to the level of No Man's Skies, but still.
Which, I mean, I like that, but I'm glad it's free for everyone. I mean, obviously, Reed's not in a position right now, but do you think you could pick up... Do you reckon you might pick up Sea of Thieves, Elliot?
I might. Yeah, I might. Who knows?
It definitely made that... I find it interesting that Disney's putting Jack Sparrow and those characters front and center when they're about to reboot the film franchise in a couple of years. Yeah. That seems a bizarre decision.
I mean, well, it's kind of understandable. Jack Sparrow is really iconic, and I think you could kind of probably see this as a last goodbye to Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow.
I think he was voicing the character in the trailer as well.
It's not been confirmed, so we don't know if it was him or the Kingdom Hearts voice actor. That's the big debate online. Oh,
by the way, though, that being said, if it's a Kingdom Hearts voice actor, he's worked on his impression because he does a terrible Jack Sparrow impression in the games.
Yeah.
So the next game on Horizon, they talked about more about Game Pass. All the Yakuza games are going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, they already are on Game Pass. They were all on Game Pass before E3.
I know, that's what I found bizarre.
Well, actually, not all of them. I think the main reason they did that was to say that Like a Dragon was coming onto Game Pass.
But that was already on Game Pass. That was day one of the Xbox Series X on Game Pass.
Was it? I hadn't seen it on there.
Yeah, no, I got it on my first day on the Xbox Series X.
Right.
It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, I mean, I already have both of the Yakuza games on Steam. I've been really getting into the series lately. The only one I'm missing is Like a Dragon, which I'm just going to get on Steam at some point anyway.
Okay, so then they showed a big extended trailer for Battlefield 2042. And a lot of people thought this would be... when I was listening to predictions, people were saying this will be the big Game Pass third-party thing they'll announce at this conference. And they did show a trailer for it, but it's not Game Pass day one at the minute.
Yeah, surprisingly.
I mean, they might change their mind down the... It might be that they'll announce it later down the line. It's coming to Game Pass day one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they said no and they wanted to wait a little bit longer before they put it on Game Pass.
At the same time, it's EA. They might just put it on Origin instead and leave it at that.
But EA are doing a partnership with Game Pass. A lot of EA Plus comes to...
oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, a lot of EA's online service does come to Game Pass, so I wouldn't rule it out entirely. What do you guys think of the look of Battlefield 2042?
I think it looks okay, but we've seen futuristic sci-fi shooters before, from like Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, and the Future Warfare stuff.
And
we haven't really seen any of that in the Battlefield series, though.
No, but it's guys who recently did Battlefront.
That's
Star
true.
Wars.
Yeah.
So what about?
So we have seen them do that style before.
What do you think, though? I don't think this whole 64v64 thing, I don't think it's going to look like it does in the trailer. Honestly, you look at that...
That's going to be lag and frame rate issues galore in that.
It's not just that. It's like no one plays the game like this. They play the game... People play these games in a certain way, and every match looks exactly the same. It's like with online multiplayer, as soon as everyone figures out what the best strategy is with any game, everyone just does the same thing, and the matches end up looking completely different to how a trailer makes them look.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because there's no uniqueness
but
once the meta's discovered.
You do occasionally get what's called the holy shit moments, but those are few and far between. Shall we? I might give Battlefield a try if it's on Game Pass, but that is the only reason. I'm not paying £70 for a multiplayer only game like that. That to me feels too steep.
Yeah. Personally, even then, I'm likely gonna skip this one unless unless it's a slow month. Unless it's a slow month and I decide, hey, I might as well do a review of it. I'm probably not going to do anything. Let's be honest.
Okay, then
also don't forget though, because it's multiplayer only. Once the server's shut down, you've got a bricked game.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hate that that's now becoming a thing. One of the things I'm glad about is that some games are getting away from that whole thing. So, for example, Final Fantasy VII Remake comes with an install disc as well as a playing disc. So that means you will be able to play it even when the servers go down. And I think that's a cool addition to it, because we're not going to get things like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, which is the entire game is on the day one patch.
Yeah.
I think we should just forget that game exists.
Then we moved on to two games that I was really excited to see, because I've been very curious about both of these games. First one was 12 Minutes. It's a game starring Willem Dafoe, and it's you basically play a time loop with this guy's saying 12 minutes for this guy. And I've been very intrigued about it ever since I saw it at E3 2019, and to see it's come back, it's surfaced again. It's going to come out on August the 19th, were you guys intrigued by 12 minutes?
Well, it looks interesting, but realistically, how much could you do in 12 minutes of gameplay?
That's a good point. Is that loop very good fun? It's going to be the big question.
Because otherwise, you'd be quite isolated.
That is true. What about you, Elliot? Did 12 minutes intrigue you?
It's definitely an interesting idea, and I might check it out. But the thing is, it feels like one of those games that will have you'll probably finish it really quickly,
and then you'll never want to play it again.
No in between. It's either something you'll be stuck on for hours and hours and hours till you eventually get bored, or you'll finish quickly. You're just okay, is that it?
Yeah. Then they announced, but I agree with you. But at least it's Game Pass day one, which means we can try it out. We don't necessarily need to go nuts. Then they went with spending on it. Then they announced Psychonauts 2 finally gets a release date. It's coming on August the 25th. And it will be Game Pass day one. I've pre-installed it on my Xbox. I'm ready to go.
Nice, yeah. I'm really excited for this one. As I said, out of all the games on during the Xbox One, this is probably the one I was most excited for.
Did you play the original Psychonauts, Reese? I imagine that's something you would have liked.
Yeah, I did play the original. But how many years ago did that come out now?
Oh, God.
2004? 2005?
A very long time to wait for a sequel.
I imagine the people back then in 2002, 2005 was just wait a couple of years and we'll get a Psychonauts 2. And now we come to 2020. Now it's 2021 and it's finally coming out.
2005 it came out.
I just imagine the people contacting their friends from school going, Jerry, it finally happened!
At the same time, though, with Psychonauts, if I remember it back then, it wasn't really a very well-known game. I think it sort of mostly brought up gained a fan base over time. It's the Beyond Good and Evil thing.
It was around the same time.
Psychonauts did not sell even as many units as Beyond Good and Evil 1, I don't think.
No, it was not a great seller. It's
exactly. It's primarily because of the cult fan base that we got through that we got this.
Yeah.
That, and it was partially funded through Kickstarter as well. That's also helped it. But then they got extra money in time because Microsoft bought Double Fine.
Yeah, stuff I'm actually kind of hoping, which I've heard rumors about this. I hope it's true, but from what I heard, after Psychonauts is done and released, that Double Fine are apparently planning on working on a sequel to Brutal Legend. Fingers crossed. Oh,
that game is so good. Seriously,
I like moments in it. I like the combat. I love the aesthetic. I'm not that big on the real-time strategy bit.
No, I am completely with you on that one. The RTS stuff really needs improvement in the next one.
I hope in the next one they just dish it all together, make it a full-on metal hack and slash. I would love that.
But it's a great soundtrack. Jack Black gives a great performance. It's on Xbox Game Pass if you haven't. Try it out if you haven't had a go of it yet. Then Bethesda kind of took over things for a while. They announced a bunch of games coming to Game Pass, including a optimized for Series X version of Doom Eternal, which I'm still banned from playing after my terrible performance on stream.
A slight Mega Man 11.
They announced an update for Fallout 76. Who's still playing it? It's actually a game now, apparently. They announced an update for...
I just find funny they're still trying to promote it, even though no one fucking cares anymore.
I mean, they also announced an update for Elder Scrolls Online, which I know Ren likes the lore of Elder Scrolls, so I think he would have been quite interested in that, but he's not here and none of us play Elder Scrolls Online, so this didn't really mean anything to us.
Yeah. It's not sad what we do.
It's just to say that when that was announced, Sony also released a trailer at the same time saying, oh yeah, we're getting the update too on PS5.
Then there was a big deal coming up after that. There was it announced that there was one before this. They showed this game called Party Animals, which looked exactly like Fall Guys.
Yeah,
pretty much. Which
I mean, how do you guys feel about? How do you guys feel about?
I think it can be a bit of fun, like in a bit of a Mario Party kind of way.
I mean, maybe I'd like to see a bit more of this, but it is coming to Game Pass, so it's going to be costing me nothing to try it.
Yeah, but at that point, why would you rather not just play Fall Guys or more well-established party games?
Oh yeah, I like Fall Guys. I actually really like Fall Guys a lot. I know a lot of people aren't really talking about it, but I actually kind of like Fall Guys.
I still haven't played it yet, but I've heard. But it does look like one. It doesn't look like one of those games I would play a lot of, but it does sound very say. I want to very say it doesn't really any going to think it seems like a pretty fun game.
Then there was announced Hades is coming to Xbox.
No.
Yeah, it's just. I just find it funny how it's just coming. It's didn't come out for everything at the same time. It's just slowly tricking its way in.
Well, I think they did a smart decision with that one because it meant you could treat it like a big deal when it's coming to Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also coming to PlayStation 5. It's been announced as well.
Yeah, same day as Xbox, I believe.
August the 13th.
Because Sony put the trailer up. The exact same trailer.
Which, by the way, I will say at some point it will be streamed, a Calvin and Ren Play stream.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when, but it will be a future one. I guarantee that much. But there was a lot.
Can I just say every time Hades comes on a new console, I'm always a tiny bit disappointed because I always get too excited thinking DLC, Hades DLC, but it never is.
Hades kind of got leaked because it was part of that indie show that Xbox were doing, and then they accidentally put it on the poster, and then it never showed up. That was weird, but obviously there was two rumors going into this thing of what the big third-party Xbox Game Pass deal would be, and there was talks it was either going to be Hades or Persona 5 The Royal. I mean, I'm glad it's Hades out of those two because I don't know how Xbox fans would take to Persona 5 Royal coming on Game Pass.
Not just Persona, but Shin Megami Tensei. The Shin Megami Tensei series is mostly a Sony property. I mean, you do get of course you have some SMT and some Persona spin-off games on like Nintendo handhelds, but aside from that, we haven't really gotten. I mean, I don't even think that Nocturne remake went onto Xbox, did it?
No, the only Atlas game that's gone on Xbox so far is Catherine. But I kind of thought there might be something in it because Xbox are really trying to break into the Japanese market in a big way. There's a lot of talk they want to buy a Japanese studio, and some people have quoted saying maybe they're going to try and buy Sega. But do they really have the money to buy Sega right now, considering half the deals they've done? Like, they spent $7.5 billion just to get Bethesda.
Yeah.
So I think they won't
At the same time, I think at the main Bethesda are bigger than Sega, let's be honest.
Yeah, but at the same time...
Have you guys heard the latest about Sega?
What's the latest on that?
Not really.
They've been shutting down their arcades in Japan.
Ooh, that's a bit of a blow.
Oh,
especially because those arcades have been open since like the 80s, continuously, and now it's not making money.
Obviously, well, that's another thing. COVID's obviously played a factor in that.
Yeah. So
that is some
bad part at the moment.
That's really unfortunate because I know a lot of people love like the Sega arcade games.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Yeah.
I don't think there's any more we could say about Hades that we haven't already said. We've said how much we love that game over and over again.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, easily the best game of last year.
Yeah.
It was
best game of last year outside Persona 5 The Royal. I'd say.
Outside of Persona 5 The Royal and Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah, we all know you're a massive fan of that game, considering the fact that you live in a house made of copies of that game.
I only got it like 4 times. Copies. I got it a few times, alright. I liked it.
Yeah, and then you kept liking it. Now you're massively in debt to it.
So we'll go through this another time, but they announced an indie game after that called Somerville. I got real Limbo vibes from that game.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, same. It actually looks interesting. It looks really interesting.
That'll come out in 2022. It will be a Game Pass day one, so I might check that one out, see how it turns out. It also reminded me a bit of what's that one? Oxenfree. Oxenfree. That's it.
Yeah.
It reminded me a bit of that as well.
That's getting a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, that got announced in a Nintendo Indie Showcase a couple of months ago. Then there was the one that I thought they were going to end on. They didn't end on this. They showed off a bit more of Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
You're surprised they showed that in the middle of the show rather than the end.
Yeah, that was a big surprise. But they did show off a bit more of the campaign and the story. They showed off the multiplayer in a big way and confirmed it's definitely going to be free to play. Which
means microtransactions up the ass, no doubt.
I'd be interested to see how they handle it, but at the minute, there is some talk that no, it is just Xbox out of the kindness of their heart, and there is no microtransactions.
Really?
Yeah, because what they're doing is they're going to put it on Game Pass day one. So again, I feel like they're trying to. I could see them saying we won't put microtransactions in because we're going to get people in the Xbox ecosystem, and then they'll buy Game Pass, and that's where we're making most of our money.
Well, even then, there's been massive backlash from the Halo community.
There's always backlash from the Halo community. It's the Halo community. If they're not going to backlash, they've got to backlash about something.
Yeah, but they're all pissed off for the multiplayer. They didn't reveal any actual details. It's just all out of context shots.
It's Halo multiplayer. It's the exact goddamn same multiplayer in every game.
The Halo community is like the Smash Bros. Community. You've always got to find someone to bitch about.
Oh, don't remind me. I love Smash Brothers, but the community I'm in don't make it half hard to say that I'm a fan.
Yeah, trust me. I love the game. I hate the community.
Moving on. Well, we'll obviously talk about Smash Brothers on Wednesday. Next, actually, before we move on, Halo Infinite, they didn't announce a release date. They just said it's coming holiday 2021.
Yeah,
I reckon, given an announcement that came later in the show, it's coming out early December, I think.
Well, isn't Halo 1's anniversary November? Late November.
Yeah, it is, but I'm wondering, spoiler alert, Forza Horizon 5 got announced in this thing. That's coming out on November the 9th. Do you think they put Forza and Halo right next to each other?
Well, is there much of an overlap in the player base for them?
I think there might be.
I think if there is, it would be very minimal because, of course, racing games and racing fans and shooting fans don't really mix.
But then, but for Xbox fans, these are two of the franchises that are very associated with the Xbox brand. But I mean, I could certainly see them saying to do that. They might release in late November to be completely on the 20th anniversary of Xbox and Halo. I mean, I think they would have. I think that could be very interesting. I'm going to pick up Halo Infinite when it comes out. I actually really like Halo for the campaign, so I'm going to get a good deal out of it, even if I am frustrated by the multiplayer and told by told that I suck noob by so many people.
I'm still planning on getting into Halo at some point. I have the Master Chief Collection on Steam, so I might pick it up.
Well, let's just be thankful it's not Halo 5 anymore, when the dev team didn't know who the main character of Halo was.
Don't remind me. Don't fucking remind me.
I genuinely... I realised if Cortana had shown up in this trailer, because of course Cortana's not going to be spoiler alert, Cortana's kind of not a factor at this point in Halo. That would have meant Master Chief was coming into Smash. But obviously it did not happen. So I think... do you reckon this puts to bed once and for all Master Chief is not in Smash Brothers?
I never believed it to begin with. Yeah. Honestly.
Because literally Snake is a push for Smash. Master Chief is way over the top.
And Snake has...
And at the very least, Metal Gear Solid had some representation in Nintendo before he came into Brawl, Halo has literally had nothing outside of Xbox. So I do not see that happening in any way.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you guys now. Halo, as much as I want him in there, Master Chief staying on Xbox. Then they showed another trailer for Diablo 2 Resurrected. It got a release date as well. I mean, Diablo 2, I kind of like Diablo games, but not so much that I'm willing to get this one.
Yeah, I've never massively been to Diablo. I played the original on the PS1, but I was a kid, but I was never really into it.
What about you?
The only one I've ever played is Diablo 3. That's about it.
So I think that's one where I will say it looked nice at least.
Yeah, and that's also coming to PlayStation as well. Sony announced.
Yeah, Sony, and it's also coming to Switch as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. Then the feed started bugging out for me and Reese, but Elliot had a good view of this one. They announced a sequel to a Plague Tale. It's called A Plague Tale Requiem. It will go to Game Pass on day one.
Yeah. I'm really, really interested in that one. I haven't played Innocence, but I've heard people say it's really good. Like Jim Stephanie Sterling has especially been saying that they really enjoyed it.
Now, I'm right in thinking A Plague Tale is multiplat. It's not stuck on Xbox, I think. Is A Plague Tale stuck on Xbox?
I think it might be. I don't know if I saw it on PlayStation at all.
I don't remember seeing it on PlayStation.
Well, Innocence, I've heard so many good things about it. I need to have a go of it at some point.
It's on Game Pass, so I would definitely check it out at some point.
Yeah, no, this one convinced me. I'm gonna try Innocence out before the end of the year. Then we saw another trailer for Far Cry 6.
Because everything we need was just another trailer for Far Cry
6. Like we haven't seen enough of it.
Which, if you need proof as to how bad the Ubisoft conference was, this one was better than the one they showed in Ubisoft conference.
At least they gave a release date on this one.
Yeah.
Ubisoft didn't even do that. Really?
All they did was show off the villain, just go, oh, hey, you can play as the other 3 villains as well. Woo.
Then there was a game that Reese only knew about this one. Me and Elliot thought we were that someone had slipped something into our drinks because
Slime Rancher.
It was Slime Rancher.
Slime Rancher.
So
yeah, I'm going to get this game just because it looks so adorable. Like, it looks so cute.
Right, Reese, I have no idea about this. What is Slime Rancher?
You play as a person with a vacuum gun. You capture slimes and then breed them to make more slimes.
Right, so it's Luigi's Mansion mixed with Pokemon breeding.
Pretty much.
Cool.
I was gonna say it's basically you're breeding Rimuru.
Yeah.
That's an image that I'm never going to get out of my head, and
or pretty much doing the exact opposite of I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
So that goes to Game Pass day one. Also coming to Game Pass day one was in fact this and the next 3 announcements all were going to Game Pass day one. They announced this snowboarding game called Shredders.
Oh yeah.
I actually, can I be honest? I liked the look of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's like
it looked like a spiritual successor to SSX Tricky.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
as someone for this than Riders Republic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, as someone who enjoyed games like Skate, I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I like the look of it as well. As it looks like it's a spiritual successor of things like Cool Borders and SSX, and I love those games. So yeah, give me another one of that. So give me this any day. I'll get this on Game Pass. Then there was another one.
Yeah.
Then there was another one where we all thought we were tripping acid. It's called it's called, what's it called? Atomic Heart. What the hell was this?
Yeah, what the fuck was this game?
It looked like some weird trip whilst playing We Happy Few and BioShock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like War of the Worlds on acid.
what the hell was this? I might try it out on day one Game Pass, but I'm really bizarred by it. Then they announced a game called Replaced, which is a sort of 2D action game, which in a retro style. I actually thought this one looked quite good. I don't know about you guys.
I'm really interested in it, yeah. It actually looks pretty good.
Again, Game Pass day one looks excellent. I'll give it a go. Then they showed the update for Grounded, mainly the Shroom and Doom update, which I love the title.
I don't know if it's been shown at E3, but like they were saying like, oh, we're updating this game Grounded, and I just thought, I never even heard of this game, and you're telling me you're updating it?
I should explain, this got revealed in the Obsidian section of the Xbox showcase last year that was meant to be like their E3 show, but when they didn't do one. This got shown off in that. Right. It's kind of the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids online game, but it...
I'm thinking more of the Ant Bully.
It does look really... I don't know, they never make these games look great to me, but they do make it look... They do have very funny trailers for this game.
Yeah, because the original one got a big promotion on YouTube with a bunch of people being paid to play it.
Yeah, it did, and I think that helped out a bit. And one of the funny things is, in the original trailer they did for this, and this is actually even funnier in hindsight, if you want to play the biggest game of the year, play Cyberpunk 2077. But if you want to play the smallest game of the year, play Grounded. And I thought
things that did not age well.
Did not age well at all. So that looks awesome. I'm not going to play Grounded, but I'm glad Obsidian's still getting work.
Yeah, definitely.
Then they announced Among Us is coming to Xbox, and a few of what they're adding 15-person room lobbies.
Yeah. It's another one of those situations where I thought, wait, that isn't on there already?
Yeah, I think they announced it around the same time that PlayStation announced they're bringing it to their system as well. So Among Us has been slowly getting around.
I think Among Us was announced in like their last State of Play.
It was, yes.
We were getting, and I think most people are probably going to get the PlayStation one just because you can get a Ratchet and Clank suit in that.
Yeah. I'm tempted. Then it was this game I've been very keen on hearing about. It's in a game called, I think, like Elysian Chronicles. It's a spiritual successor to Suikoden, which is it's been funded through Kickstarter, and Microsoft has given them a bit of extra funding to make not only this, but they're making a second game on top of it that'll come out in 2023. So there's 2 games in this series that is being designed to be this spiritual successor to a classic RPG series that's been very underrepresented. I honestly urge you guys to give this one a go.
I mean, I'm a JRPG fan, so yeah. Though I'm not the only one who got like a sort of Octopath Traveler vibes from it. Am I?
Kind of, yeah.
I did with the character design.
Yeah, like with the character design and sort of the background, it felt very Octopath Traveler-like.
Those games look gorgeous, so I don't mind if they're going to rip off that.
Yeah, absolutely. If anything, I'm happy of all the games they ripped off, they chose that one.
And now, this part was funny for me, because it's where my stream somehow got desynced. So during this reveal, I still got the audio for Grounded again.
Oh, God!
Yeah, you said.
What the hell is this?
What were you watching it on for it to, like, unsync that much? I was watching it on Twitch.
I was watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, same.
It just desynced.
Actually, this is kind of funny because during the bit when they were when they were about to talk about Hades, when they were talking about the game before that, I was watching it on YouTube, and there was someone like explaining everything that was happening, and just that I was just thinking, okay, if this is a game, this is really annoying. Then Hades came on, and I was just like, what's happening? Turns out I was listening to the audio description version of E3 on my phone.
Oops.
Which I just thought, okay, that explains it. But for some reason, it's like on YouTube, it's like when you type in Xbox E3 conference, the audio description version is above the one that's not audio description version. I don't get why.
So then there was a game called The Ascent that got revealed. That's going to Game Pass Day 1. What do you guys think of The Ascent?
Yeah, I thought it looked okay. Every time I hear the Ascent, I think of your horror film,
The Descent. Yeah, so
yeah, I know. Yeah, same.
But
so it's always a bit hard to differentiate them.
So if I'm going to go for a Stop the Was moment, it would be the moment on the E329 video where he goes, "It looks fine." That's all. It's one of those games.
Speaking about Scott the Was, did you guys see after the Xbox conference what people were posting from Scott?
What was it?
No.
It's that image of him looking down at bloodied hands, and they were saying, "Oh, what Microsoft just did to Ubisoft."
Oh dear, that's a good one actually. Then there was Age of Empires 4 got announced for going to Game Pass Day 1.
Yeah, I'm surprised anyone still remembers this series.
I'm surprised the series is still alive.
Yeah, no, Age of Empires 2 has seriously got a massive community online.
Because you always see it topping the charts with a HD one. Because it's got fan service still running.
I mean, I might give Age of Empires 4 a go since I don't have to pay for it since I've got Xbox Game Pass. So I could see myself giving it a try. Then there was a big one from Obsidian, one of the funniest trailers in the entire thing, and they used it to announce The Outer Worlds 2.
I am surprised.
Was Elliot gone?
He's gone. Ali got too hyped. His internet disconnected.
Shall we go while Elliot's trying to reconnect? Shall we? What did you think of it, Reese?
Well, I thought the trailer was dead funny because it was making fun of the Halo trailer.
Yes.
About Master Chief.
Elliot's back.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Outer Worlds 2, Elliot?
Well, it was mostly just a funny teaser trailer. I'm surprised we're getting an announcement for a sequel already, considering the fact that I think the first one didn't come out like that long ago. 2019, right?
I know. No, hang on. Yes, 2019 because it got nominated for Game of the Year that year. Do you think? Here's a question though: will this one come to PlayStation?
Well, the original came to Switch. It didn't run very well. They still came to Switch.
True. It's more: will Xbox really hold this one back now? Now that they've got more leverage with owning Bethesda.
Well, all we really know is that it's just coming to Series X and Windows. Wasn't the second one being? Didn't the first one go to PlayStation?
It did, yes.
Yeah, it did.
I imagine this one probably will as well. Then,
shall we talk then about what do we call? I mean, I'll pick up over Outer Worlds 2. I've been enjoying it on my PC, so I'll definitely pick up Outer Worlds 2.
I might check it out. I've been meaning to check out the first Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Next one up was Microsoft Flight Simulator coming to Xbox Series X only. Of course, only. You're not getting that on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the time I actually installed it on my PC and it took 8 hours?
Oh my god!
And I crashed every time. I could not fly a plane to save my life. So maybe I'll do better if I have a controller. I might give it a go. But they also announced Top Gun DLC to go for the new film.
Yeah.
Yep. So now you can play as Tom Cruise.
Hooray!
Yeah, I can be Maverick. Woo!
Don't make a Scientology joke or we'll get struck.
Yeah, or if you do that, we'll be taking off Tom's cake list.
Oh no, what am I going to do?
Oh no, I really want cake from Tom Cruise.
Have you guys not heard of the cake list?
No. Not heard of it.
Yeah, Tom Cruise sends everyone he knows or works with a cake every year. And it's rated one of the best cakes in the world.
What?
Have you guys not heard of this?
No,
never.
Yeah, one of the earliest things he did was for Kirsten Dunst in an interview with a vampire. And she still gets a cake every year. It's a cocoa cake. It's very famous.
This man never ceases to surprise me.
I'll send you a link to it, but his cake order is that huge that during the pandemic, he kept the bakery afloat himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just with his order.
Because
Henry Cavill was talking about it.
The next announcement is one we sort of touched upon earlier. They showed off Forza Horizon 5. Comes out on November the 9th. It's taking place in Mexico this time, which is interesting because 3 took place in Australia, 4 took place in the UK. This one's taking place in Mexico. It looks really good.
Yeah, because a lot of fans thought it was actually Elder Scrolls because of the environments.
What?
Because when you saw like all the mountains, the deserts, and the volcanoes, everyone thought, "Oh, this will be Elder Scrolls."
No, I instantly knew this. See, the thing is, I'd heard a lot about what was going on with Forza Horizon 5, so I instantly knew it was Forza.
Even I knew it was Forza when I first saw it, and I haven't even been keeping up with the series or anything.
The thing is, I tried Forza Horizon. I'm not really into my driving sims like Gran Turismo, so I've never really gone near these games. I tried Forza Horizon 4 on my Game Pass subscription. I thought, okay, everyone's gone on about saying this is the driving simulator for people that don't like driving simulators. They're absolutely right. The open world adds so much craziness to it that it really works. So, honestly, I'm actually dead excited for Forza Horizon 5. I've actually pre-ordered the game on my Game Pass subscription. So,
I might pick it up. I am kind of into like my driving games. Like, I'm not massively into them, but they're fun to play every once in a while. I might check it out.
Obviously, Reese, did this do anything for you, man?
Yeah, well, I grew up playing a lot of Need for Speed and those racing games like Gran Turismo, so I do have a childhood growing up on these games.
Did you like the look of Forza Horizon 5?
Yeah, I thought it looked really good. The car models are immaculate.
Yeah, I would say at the very least, it is a stunningly beautiful game.
Yeah, they
easily the best looking driving game to date.
And did a really good job showing off the gameplay for it as well. They didn't just show a trailer for it, they also showed really good gameplay as well. Went on a little too long, but it was pretty good in the end.
Yeah.
So, final thing they showed off, one more thing. They went into a bit of detail about what's coming on to it.
Well, second to last thing.
Second to last thing, because the last thing was the fridge, which was hilarious.
I love how they just, like, everyone was joking that it was a mini fridge, and they just went, "Oh my, there you fucking go, it's a fridge!"
So let's, I'm going to buy the fridge, to be honest, and I'm going to put it next to the actual Xbox, just to confuse people that come round. Oh yeah, mate, just put the disc in the Xbox. Which one? That's for you to figure out. The final thing they did show off was from Arcane Games, who make the Prey series of games.
And Dishonored.
Yes, which are two games I like.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, but I've never really been in love with those games. You know what I mean? They're kind of.
I've never played Prey, but like Dishonored honestly is my favorite Bethesda game.
So they're making this sort of open world vampire game called Redfall.
Yeah.
Now it's coming out in summer of next year. What do you guys make of the look of this one? Especially considering that this was the One More Thing game.
I thought it did look interesting. It just. I'm actually kind of into it. It almost, like, from what I saw, it almost seems a bit like a sort of open world vampire version of Left 4 Dead.
To me, it felt more like Borderlands. It looked a lot like it's going to have a Borderlands type feel to it.
I can see that, actually. Yeah, I can actually see that.
Right, okay, Reese. Say this doesn't come on Xbox only. It's going to come to the PlayStation 5 as well. Is this a pickup for you, or would you have to wait on this one?
I'd probably wait on it just because we had that vampire arena battle game that flopped massively.
Oh yeah, fuck, that was bad.
So there's not really a big market for vampire games at the minute.
What do you think, Elliot? Did you like the look of Redfall? Is this a pickup for you, especially since it's Game Pass day one?
Yeah, I definitely pick. I think I'm gonna pick. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick it up.
It was a bit weird. This was the One More Thing game. Like, I wouldn't have thought this is. They obviously have a lot of faith in this, considering that. And I'd also found it interesting they put a Bethesda game at the beginning and the end of the conference. That was a bit of an interesting decision on their part. So, how do you guys think? Was Redfall the right? What do you think their ambition for Redfall is, considering they've ended on it?
Well, they do have faith in it, but I'm not sure it was the right game to end on.
Yeah, I definitely... I feel like this would be a good game to show in the middle. I'm not really sure in the end. If you ask me, they definitely should have saved Halo for the end.
So you think really show off Halo at the end and put Redfall in where Halo was?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll see something interesting about it as down the line, but I thought it was a decent thing to end on. I'm intrigued about the game a lot more. I'm probably more intrigued by the game being at the end now than if it had come in the middle.
They must have a lot of faith in it, though, if they're ending on it. I'm definitely going to give it a go when it comes out.
Okay, so before we move on to Square, was there any Xbox games that you thought, why was this not here? Or you were disappointed it wasn't there?
Not very disappointed, but I'm surprised it didn't show off more of Deathloop.
Well, that's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, that's why they wouldn't show it off.
Oh, right, okay, that's why.
Well, of course, we've got the old elephant in the room of Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, they did. They talked about it briefly, but they didn't show it. I think that's very far off in the future, considering that we're not even going to see we're not even going to get Starfield till end of next year.
Yeah.
When do you think we're going to be getting more information on it at the earliest?
I think we see the big reveal of it, like the big re-reveal of Elder Scrolls 6 at the end of E3 2023. I think that's when.
Yeah, I was thinking around 23. Yeah.
I think they're going to have Todd Howard's going to come on stage, preferably at an in-person E3, and say, "We know Elder Scrolls 6 has been a very long way off since our reveal. Here's the full reveal of it, and there's a title." The ones that someone gave me a very good explanation for why this. I heard a very good explanation for why this wasn't in the show, but Hellblade 2 didn't show up, and from what I've heard.
Wasn't it because it's going to be using Unreal 5 that's still kind of in beta, so I'm guessing they don't really have anything to show off yet.
It's a combination of that, and they weren't able to do a lot of the motion capture they needed to do for the game, so that's not shown. That's why that didn't show up. The one that didn't show up because they're saving it from where we know it is in development is Avowed, the Elder Scrolls-like game that Obsidian's doing. What were you going to say, Elliot? Sorry.
Right. I wasn't going to say anything.
But seriously, Avowed is the one that I'm very excited for. But I think we'll see it later this year at something like XO.
Yeah.
Possibly even a Tokyo Game Show. They might Xbox actually went to the Tokyo Game Show last year, so I'll be interested to see if they go again this year. Will Avowed be what they bring? So. What do you guys think of the Xbox conference as a whole? The Xbox and Bethesda conference?
Well, it was a lot better than Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I would say this is the first Bethesda conference I've actually liked.
I think...
And second of all, I thought it was good. Microsoft normally do, pretty good... Microsoft's conference are normally pretty good. I mean, at worst, they're just okay. I did enjoy this one, though. This was pretty good, especially after Ubisoft's.
I thought this was a good conference. I thought this was a really good conference, to be honest. I think this is one of Xbox's best ones. They did a very good job. They paced it out properly. They had a good mix of gameplay and CGI trailers, which is normally not one of their strong points. They tend to go for a lot of CGI trailers. Yeah. But I think they did a very good job. I'm not disappointed we didn't see things like Fable and State of Decay 3. But I think what we got... But the things that did it for me was... They need to sell the Xbox Series X and they need to sell Game Pass. And they did both in a big way. One of the things that really surprised me, though, about this conference was so many things are not coming to Xbox One. So by the end of next year, there will be more next-gen exclusive Xbox games than there will be next-gen exclusive PlayStation games.
Yeah.
They might have flipped this console generation in their favour in one presentation. The thing is, Reese, the thing I want to ask you on this one is, were you really tempted to get an Xbox Series X based on this conference, or are you still kind of, I'm not sure I really want to do that?
Well, just based on what we saw, most of it was just CG or out of context. There's nothing really there that's like a system seller. You must have, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a couple in there, but not a load in there. I think the one that was sell the Series X was Starfield.
And even then, that was just a CGI trailer.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, Microsoft actually exceeded my expectations with this, so I'd say hats off to them. They gave a good conference.
Yeah.
How many...
considering like the Xbox Series X hasn't really shown much to like sort of sell itself. Yeah, I agree with you. They really outdid themselves this time with trying to sell the Series X. I feel like this conference will probably get a lot of people buying it.
Not only the other things that prove from this is not only is Game Pass so far pretty good, it's getting better, and it's going to get better as it goes on. They really added so much value to Games Pass in this one thing. I'm really going to be recommending to people, if you've got the systems for it, get Xbox Game Pass. And I think Nintendo should really be considering maybe bringing Games Pass to the Switch and having it run via the cloud.
Yeah, it's really showing like it's really proven that Xbox Game Pass has pretty much become the Netflix of like game streaming services.
I'm seriously looking forward to seeing where they're going to go ahead with that one. But how many knee slaps do you think? Let's try to guess. How many knee slaps do we think Scott's going to give it in his video?
3.5. Because while it was overall good, I don't really think there's much for him to really get excited over.
What about you, Reese?
I'd probably go 3 because he doesn't normally get excited over CGI trailers.
True. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 3.5 as well. I think he'll say it's about on the level as the 2019 show, and that's what he gave for that one. So So on that note, let's talk Square Enix Presents. They went on almost immediately after Xbox. They were like an hour and a bit separating them.
Just thinking, for this recording, should we stop and set up another room for it's easier to break the recording up?
No, I think this will be fine. I've planned this one out. I reckon we can keep going with this.
Okay.
Shall we talk... how did you guys feel about Square... What did you guys think going into the Square Enix show? What were you expecting from it?
Well, first of all, it already really up my hype for it because it was the voice narrated by Matt Mercer, who I've explained many times is one of my favorite voice actors of all time.
What about you, Reese? What did you go in with the expectation for this one?
Well, I was thinking maybe some more news about Final Fantasy VII, Intergrade, and maybe some other stuff, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and then I went in hoping for we'll get some interesting stuff, but I don't imagine they'll talk about much of what they didn't already tell us was going to be in this thing.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping. I didn't think we were going to get it, but I was kind of hoping for some more Dragon Quest stuff. Some more, like maybe more on the Dragon Quest 3 remake, or like maybe a tiny bit of information on what's coming with Dragon Quest 12, which obviously we didn't get. But
I think the reason for that is the Square Enix Presents format is more for the Western audience of Square Enix. And for whatever reason, they don't view Dragon Quest as being a particularly Western-oriented franchise, despite the fact they said 12 will come out worldwide.
Yeah. Though I think, like, Dragon Quest XI sold really well, so I think that kind of disproves it.
Yeah, no, but again, we all know what the rule is with Dragon Quest in Japan. You can't release it on a working day.
And as we know, they think that Final Fantasy is the more mature Western JRPG.
Which it
kind of proven itself to be like Dragon Quest is more sort of traditional medieval fantasy.
So there's this. They started this presentation off, and they immediately went into here's a debuting game. Here's a new game made by Eidos Montreal, which is the Tomb Raider team, and it's
and also the team who made Deus Ex.
And Deus Ex, yes, and they announced they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy game, which, unlike Avengers, is a single-player story-driven experience.
Thank God for that. And it does actually look good.
It does, yeah. It looks like they mixed through some good action gameplay with kind of telltale decision-making.
Yeah, I was thinking that with like Rocket will remember this.
Yeah,
or like the thing I really like about it is the decisions that they showed off aren't just story based, but also gameplay based. Because, like, of course, in the trailer they go in to try, like, they sell either Rocket or Groot. Some or the other will probably make like really big changes in gameplay or in the team dynamic.
Yeah, I could see definitely where they're going with it. I mean, we all agreed though we'd sell Groot, and in the demo they showed off. They went to sell Rocket initially.
Yeah,
and then they changed their mind. And go, no, we'll do Groot. Rocket is going to be more useful on the outside.
So
yeah, which led to my favourite line of it from Drax, saying that this is an affront to democracy. Because Peter changed his mind.
I'll tell you one thing about that though. As Reese pointed out, this is written by Dan Abnett, who did some of the early runs of Guardians of the Galaxy when they were trying to revive it in Marvel.
Yeah,
but it'll be interesting to see his writing in this one, because his version of Guardians of the Galaxy is quite different from the movie version, and he's obviously working with characters very similar to the movie versions.
Yeah, he sounds very MCU inspired, because just look at Rocket Raccoon. He looks almost exactly like he does the MCU, but with a slight beard.
What do you think of the look of this thing as a whole, Reese? Did you really like the look of this one, or was this kind of like...
I really liked it. They're bringing up like a fun team mechanic where you can call in for them to do moves and that, set up combos. So it's not just like a generic shoot 'em up or hack and slash.
This looks so much better than Avengers, I think we can all agree.
Oh, massively, yeah.
Way better, like, seriously.
Especially because it actually has personality.
What about you, Elliot? Do you think this is one that you're going to be very interested in getting?
Oh, definitely. I'm 100% going to try this when it comes out.
It comes out in October. I'm dead excited to give it a go.
Yeah, so October 26th.
October 26th. That's an interesting date for this whole thing. So that the next reveal. So
just before we move on, how amazing was Peter's jacket?
Yes, I hope you're right. And there's a really expensive limited edition where you get the jacket. I want the jacket.
Same.
Yeah, because if Resident Evil 8 could do one for Chris's jacket, we can get one for Peter's.
Agreed. Let's talk.
Definitely.
So.
And the pre-order bonuses, you get comic accurate costumes.
I love that as well. Which does suggest there's going to be a lot of skins for this game. So I'll be interested to see how they do what they do with that.
I expect there'll be a few like cosmetic DLCs for it.
So next thing they talked about was the Final Fantasy. The first 6 Final Fantasy games are getting pixel perfect remasters, and they're coming to Steam and mobile phones. Not consoles.
Everyone on Twitter said, "Why not Switch?"
Yeah. Exactly.
Why are they not coming on Switch?
This trailer. The thing is, this is a great announcement But the trailer was awful for it. It was too short.
Especially because you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't see anything. It was too short, and it didn't really explain when it's coming out or what the pricing structure is of it.
Yeah, because it was just labelled as coming soon.
That's the thing is, I'm very happy with this one because it means I don't have to play those ugly versions of Final Fantasy 5 and 6 that are on Steam.
Oh yeah, those.
Oh, don't remind me! Don't remind me.
I can actually play them looking properly, so I will be picking up all 6 of these games. I will point out, even Final Fantasy 2, which I don't like, I'm going to be picking up.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder if they're going to sell them all as one collection or individually.
I'm hoping.
I imagine either they'll sell them all as one collection for like 30, 40 quid, or they'll sell them all separately for like 7 quid each or something like that.
I imagine it's going to be the latter of those two. Interesting. Do you know one of the things I also found interesting? They didn't bring this up in the trailer. This is the first time the 2D version of Final Fantasy III is leaving Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, that should be something they should have highlighted. Like, this is the first time you can play this legally. Like, that's amazing.
Especially because, as we all know, in the West it goes Final Fantasy 1, 4, 6.
Yeah.
Instantly out. Yeah, go ahead, Elliot.
I'm just upset that it's not coming on Switch. Because if you look at Switch, if we got them, we would have most of the Final Fantasy games on there. And we won't. We don't have the 13 series, rightfully so. 15, we have the Pocket Edition for some reason, and of course we don't have the MMOs. But we do have 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 2, and 12. So
I think it would have made so much sense, and those 6 games specifically are really in classic Nintendo core audience that are really getting back into Nintendo on the Switch.
I hope they do an announcement down the line that they are coming to Switch as well. That's my main hope for it.
Do you know, I've got a weird suspicion on this one. Hear me out on this. I think they are coming to Switch, and it's going to be on the Direct tomorrow.
I can see that, actually. I can imagine that.
Yeah.
I can imagine that they've done the deal with Nintendo saying you can announce it in your one, and we'll talk about the price structure and the release date in our one.
Yeah.
Got to admit though, because I think most of the Switch, I think there's a lot of Switch owners that will watch the Nintendo Direct tomorrow, but did not watch this Square show. So I'd say don't count it out just yet.
Yeah. I imagine then this one is just to say, it's coming to Steam and mobile. Yeah, maybe the one tomorrow will be saying it's coming to Switch as well.
Okay, so out of these 6 games, which one are you most excited to replay?
6, definitely.
Yeah, same.
6, yeah, we all love. But I'm also going to be glad. I also want to try out Final Fantasy V because I actually, because Adam, who comes on our streams quite a bit, he thinks 5 is the best one.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what he sees in it.
That's very surprising. Not that many people talk about 5.
Yeah, I know. I'll ask him on stream why he really likes it again. But I think he said something like he thinks it's the best use of the job system is what really put it over the edge for him.
That is actually kind of fair. I mean, I'm just gonna play all of these when they come out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna get them. So from that slight disappointing trailer, they reminded us again. Legend of Mana is coming. They already revealed that in the Nintendo Direct in February. So they didn't show off much more differently with this one, so go back and check out our February Nintendo Direct podcast if you want our thoughts on it.
Yeah, this one was actually a really brief one.
Yeah, it was even briefer than in Nintendo Direct.
It's almost like it's just like a blink and you'll miss it, pretty much.
It's a shame because I actually thought I actually would like them to talk a bit more about Legend of Mana.
Maybe that's another one for tomorrow's stream.
Then there's the Avengers update.
Woo!
Oh, yay!
Yeah, Black Panther's coming in. No word about Spider-Man, even though he's supposed to already be there. For the love of God, let's move on. I'm sorry, but if you're still playing Avengers at this point, you're punishing yourself.
Who is still playing Avengers at this point?
Who?
The player base dropped to 20% after only a month.
And it's only gotten worse as it's gone on. I don't understand. You got to be a real glutton for punishment to still be playing that.
You got to be a real glutton for punishment for still developing it.
Yeah, because even the Marvel fanboys have jumped ship.
Exactly, and with Guardians of the Galaxy, they're all going to completely jump ship.
Yeah. Yeah, when Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, no one's going to care about Avengers.
Then they went into all their mobile games. They announced quite a few mobile things here. They announced a Hitman mobile game, some Final Fantasy 1 crossover with another game they're doing.
Brave. Yes,
War of the Visions, right?
Yeah, that's it. They announced Final Fantasy 7 the first... Oh, no, that's another thing. They announced Final Fantasy Brave Exodus, having a 5th anniversary.
Brave Exodus, some things. I'm someone who actually still plays Brave Exodus. It's actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
But there is one I think that we're most interested in. Near Reincarnation.
Yeah, mobile.
I'm so surprised that was announced.
Like a mobile Nier game. It's gonna be pretty cool.
That's an interesting one. I'll be interested to see how that turns out. Then they announced Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, that sort of FF7 remake multiplayer game, which I no interest in trying.
Yeah, it's a battle royale that's only coming to phones.
I'm surprised it's just coming to phones. I feel like something like this would probably fit more on a console.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Which means it'll probably monetize out the ass.
Oh yeah, completely.
Obviously, it's no doubt. It's going to be loot boxes galore.
Yeah. Then they announced what they're doing. Square Enix's collaboration with Platinum Games to make Babylon's Fall, which is a game I keep forgetting exists every time I see a new trailer for it.
Yeah.
Which it's a shame because my god, this game looks really good.
It looks like
it's funny because we were talking then, and even I mentioned saying, "Hang on, this is just the weapon system from Nier Automata," and then one of the devs later on said, "Oh yeah, we borrowed the combat from Nier Automata."
Yeah, pretty much. It's honestly to the point where I'm kind of surprised it's not a Yoko Taro game, considering Nier is his baby.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the great. It definitely feels a lot like something he would make, but it looked alright. But it's not wowing me. If you catch me.
I mean, I'm still definitely gonna pick it up and check it out because I'm really getting into the Nier series. I'm kind of starting becoming a Yoko Taro fan, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
What about you, Reese?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
I'll give it a go.
It say it has a 4-player co-op for dungeons, so that could be fun.
Now,
so that'll probably be a collab review.
That could be, yeah. Incidentally, at least the next bit was short for Reese and Elliot, because this segment was only for me. They talked about the Life is Strange games.
Even then, it was longer than a good chunk of the games they showed off outside of Guardians of the Galaxy, which, if you ask me, Guardians of the Galaxy still went on for way too long.
So, obviously you guys do not like Life is Strange games.
Well, yeah, and this one's even worse because it has the main character be a literal villain.
Yeah, we'll go into... Yeah, we are definitely going to be... I want to point out, we are going to be controversial on this one.
Yeah, the ability to see other people's emotions. Worst superpower ever.
Yeah, but it's even worse than that because they stated she can see people's memories and feelings. Well,
great! So we're adding in privacy invasion now. Yeah, for fuck's sake.
What wants these people's right to privacy?
Exactly. It does feel a lot more uncomfortable than previous Life is Strange games. I mean, I must be honest. This trailer actually put me off True Colors more than it made me like the idea of it.
And even then, the other Life is Strange games aren't really that great for me because, well, honestly, just because I don't like the dialogue. It feels like it was just written by a bunch of middle-aged men trying to find out what the younger generation talk like.
Yeah, it does have a lot of the
dialogue is cringy AF.
It's one of those, and I'm not the first one to point this out. There's a lot of "hello, fellow kids."
Yeah, because it reminds me a lot of the writing of like the CW shows.
Yes, it does have a CW feel to it. Incidentally, on that one, they also showed off the Life is Strange remasters, which I got as part of my pre-order for Life is Strange True Colors, because I'm
remasters.
It does the bare minimum and calls it a remaster.
Like it does not look. Those graphics have not aged well.
Yeah, like I remember seeing one bit like before. I was just like, oh wow, those graphics do not look good. And then they like moved on, like to show this is what the remaster would look like. I was just like, oh wow, there's slightly more detail in the faces now.
Incidentally, with that one, I actually, be honest, I kind of like Life is Strange 2. I mean, Life is Strange 2 fixed a lot of the problems I had with Life is Strange 1 and tells a more compelling story.
I have not played Life is Strange 2. After Life is Strange 1, I could not care less.
I would say Life is Strange 2 dives way more into US politics than Life is Strange 1. It definitely feels like a commentary on Trumpism and the MAGA movement. Particularly the fact that it's two Hispanic leads in the main roles. But it does have some problems that the other ones did, but I felt like... But the big difference that put it over the edge for me was Life is Strange 2 actually has a lot more endings, and it doesn't come down to one decision at the end, like Life is Strange 1.
Yeah.
Life is Strange 1 pissed me off with that one. It's like, wait, so all the decisions I made along the way don't matter at all because it comes down to one decision at the end.
Yeah, like a lot of choice games do that. It pisses me off.
Well, yeah, because let's not forget what happened to Mass Effect 3. That literally happens.
Yeah, Mass Effect 3 is a very that issue as well. But with Life is Strange 2, they actually did fix that and say, no, you can have like 4 or 5 endings, and it will depend on the choices you make along the way.
Yeah. And like just from this, just go back to Life is Strange True Colors. From the trailer, the dialogue. Oh my god! Yeah. Hashtag I'm 14 and this is deep.
You guys really are not going to try Life is Strange True Colors.
No, I'm not.
You're literally playing as the villain. It's literally the setting to a white person, and everyone will be out against this game.
But I just cannot stand the dialogue. The dialogue is so cringy. It feels like Last of Us Part 2. It just feels like it's trying to be overly deep when overall it feels like something you find in a fucking Onision book.
Yeah, I must be honest. With I don't like the main character of True Colors at the minute. She does kind of feel like someone who's really interfering with people's lives, and not. I mean, maybe I'm hoping the final game will prove me wrong on this one, and they'll give her a good reason for her actions, but. Reese, your point, I think, makes a lot of sense. This idea of she's basically invading people's privacy.
Yeah, because literally her victims have no choice but to allow her to do it.
I love how you just say victims. Like, in the game, just in the game, there's going to be people you try to help, and yet you're just like, no, they're the victims in this.
Yeah, like literally change the setting. So if it was a white guy doing this, everyone would say, oh no, it's a violation of privacy. It shouldn't be allowed. We shouldn't be promoting this. But because of the way they're promoting this now, saying, oh no, it's a good thing she can help people. It's not a violation of privacy.
It does feel like you could flip this around. That you could completely flip this in the marketing and make her the villain. I mean, before we really piss off the internet, let's move on to the final announcement today, which was Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Now, we heard a lot about this going in, but this looks like it's basically a action RPG-like game with a bit of co-op.
This is a game that was rumored to be like a Final Fantasy Souls-like, right?
Yeah, but it appears that's not the case now.
Yeah, like the combat, just for the combat, it reminds me more of Dynasty Warriors, honestly.
Well, Koei Tecmo has a part in this game, along with Team Ninja, who's really developing it. The Metroid Other M people, who have done other good games.
But they shall forever be known as the Metroid Other M team.
That's so annoying.
I mean, yeah, just because they made one bad game doesn't mean they haven't made a bunch of good ones. Like Naughty Dog, for example, they made like a bunch of good they made a bunch of really good games. I'm not immediately going to diminish it just because they made The Last of Us Part 2.
There's another dislike ratio for us.
I mean, hey, fuck you, that game sucks.
But it's funny because people were comparing it online, saying all the times we heard baby throughout Other M to now being replaced with everyone saying chaos. Instead.
I even showed you that thing where someone's done it with Timmy's dad from Fairly Odd Parents this morning. The thing about it is, the best thing about this trailer was seeing Garland in there.
Yeah.
Who's the villain from Final Fantasy 1, and he even looks like his Dissidia design.
With because it's called Final Fantasy Origin, do you think this is like a prequel to the first Final Fantasy game?
It potentially is a prequel to the first Final Fantasy game, which means they missed an opportunity to call it Final Fantasy 1-1.
Considering how Final Fantasy 1 ends with Garland becoming Chaos, I think it's pretty obvious that that's the path they're going to take. So it's just a retelling of the first game.
I agree. I think it'll be interesting to see where they go with this one. They also said they were going to release a demo on PlayStation 5, which I thought was a really great thing because it meant the people that couldn't go on the showroom floor this year had a demo they could play. And it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, you were right about that this morning.
Yeah, because I thought I'll download the demo this morning, I'll give it a go, and I'll give my thoughts on it. It still doesn't work. It still doesn't work. I tried it twice. It still hasn't worked.
That is unfortunate. That's really unfortunate.
Do you know what?
Everyone's been having this problem, hasn't they?
Yeah, no. It's not just me. It's a game-wide problem. It just says, what you do is you download it and then it just says, the data's corrupted. What the
fuck's sake?
What do you guys think of... Well, since we haven't had a chance to play it, what did you guys... or the demo of it, what did you guys think of what we saw of it?
I thought it looked good. It looks interesting.
I think it looks alright. I want to see a bit more of it before I really make a judgment on it, but... What about you, Elliot?
From what I saw, I'm really excited. I think it looks pretty good.
The one thing everyone's pointed out is that they think there's going to be an isekai retelling.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah, no, I think this is going to be one where we're going to be very interested or very disappointed by the outcome.
Yeah, did you guys see what the main character was wearing?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
he's just wearing a button-up T-shirt in a like a medieval setting. So that's what everyone thinks is going to be like an isekai.
Well, hopefully we'll get to try it out before the end of this week. The demo's supposed to be up till the 24th of June. It's worth trying out. I feel like it's kind of a bit of a weird one to end on. Before we give our thoughts on it, apart from Elliot's already mentioned he was a bit disappointed the Dragon Quest didn't show up in this. Was there anything else you were a bit disappointed didn't show up?
Well, Final Fantasy 16.
That's the obvious one.
I don't think anyone was expecting that, though, in all fairness. I was
hoping we'd see it because there was some chance then it would make the end of this year. It obviously will now not make the end of this year. This is now at 2022 at the earliest.
Yeah, I was literally hoping for like a date or maybe like a snippet of gameplay.
I think they could have done a bit of... I think maybe even possibly showing another cinematic trailer for it to sort of say, here's a bit more of what you can expect in the game would have been quite nice. But again, I think it's because these Square Enix presentations are more aimed at a Western audience than they are at Japan. And I think they're really pushing Final Fantasy XVI to win back the Japanese audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just want because from the first cinematic trailer, it looks more medieval than any of the other Final Fantasy games did.
It'll be interesting to see how 16 turns out. I mean, I personally think, though, this wasn't. I would. How would you rate this conference? How would you think of it, Reese?
I rated it quite high. Like I even like 4 slaps, literally just because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
What about you, Elliot?
I say it's on par with the. Actually, no. Personally, I say it's better than the Microsoft one. Personally,
I'm gonna say it was okay. I thought some of the announcements were pretty good. I think they actually, I think the thing that brought it down for me was the Life is Strange stuff, because they took a game I was actually kind of excited for and drained all my enjoyment of it.
Not to mention, in my opinion, they went on about for too long again.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of this one, I wish they'd gone a bit more into detail about Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. But that is the thing that I'm most excited for in this entire conference. I mean, that says it all. I'm most excited to replay old Final Fantasy games. I mean, I like the look of Guardians of the Galaxy. Really, the middle of this show really... Babylon's Fall looks alright, but the middle of this show really dragged with the Avengers updates and the mobile games and all that business. And Stranger of Paradise is one I'm very mixed on what I've seen of it so far. This could be great, or it could be a bit of a weird entry in the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many knee slaps do we think Scott's going to give it? We'll start with Reese on this.
I'd probably say 3 or maybe 2.5.
What about you, Elliot?
I'd probably say 3.
I'm going to go 2.5 because I think he will not be impressed by the amount of mobile games. As while we're on the subject,
he's not a big fan. He's not a big Square fan anyway.
Also, while we're on the subject of this one, another point that he mentioned. What is it with Square Enix putting so many emphasis on mobile games in their E3 shows?
Because that's where most of the money's made nowadays.
No,
video games.
That is so depressing, as well.
Yeah.
Right, well, we've yapped on for quite a bit, so we will head off right now. We'll speak to you. We'll obviously be going back tomorrow to talk about Capcom's show, but before the neighbour's cat. So we'll love you and leave you before the neighbour's cat ruins this audio recording by meowing outside my door. All right.
And then Cal secretly brings it in.
I do not secretly bring it in. It runs. Do you know what's amazing? I now can't make the.
Another one for the dungeon.
It actually ran. Do you know when the neighbour first moved in? It actually ran in the house, and when me and Ren were preparing to leave, and I had to get it out of the house. It was like it ran. Ren was like, "What are you doing?" Ren was out of the car, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I can't go anywhere. A cat's running in the house."
Yeah, a cat's running in the house. It's escaped its cage. I need to get it back in.
Where did these Morgana jokes come from? I really am going to kill you guys for creating these. And on that note...
we didn't create them.
Oh, I hate...
Fun, wasn't it?
I hate you all. We'll see. If I haven't killed them, we'll see you all tomorrow for Capcom's show. Thank you very much, guys.
You can't do that. Social distancing, bitch.
We work together and we're all vaccinated. I can kill you as much as I want.
You can't kill us. You can never kill us. We can never die.
See you all tomorrow. Goodbye.
See ya.